Hello everyone, thank you for listening and tuning in. Today my topic is Provision for Destiny, which is one of the chapters in my book. And I chose that chapter to speak to you guys about today because we all know that God has a divine plan for each of us. How many of you know that when God gives you provision for your vision, that the enemy will always send things in your way to keep you from being exceptionally great? For an example, I've experienced fear and anxiety, and I have allowed fear and anxiety to control me in a lot of situations in my life. And if any of you have ever experienced fear and anxiety, you all know that it's a raging feeling that is uncontrollable and it's loud, meaning it's so loud that we can barely hear that still small voice of God. But that's only because we're allowing fear to control us over what we believe in. And I say that to say this: whatever problems that you are facing, whether it be with other people, whether it may be in your environment, you got to know that you may not always be able to change that situation. But if you make a step towards changing yourself and listening to the instructions, because God said to hear counsel and to receive instructions. So if you take that word and you apply it to yourself, then the situation around you will change. And not meaning that the people will change, but you're going to be able to deal with the situations that come, that seems as if they're coming against you. For so long, I have complained, I've cried out, I've been in a place of self-pity, saying to God that I have so many dreams, and if God, this is what you ordained me to do, like why is it that I'm staying in one place and it seems that I can't move forward? And God clearly spoke to me saying that you're saying that you have nothing in your hands, but actually you have everything. God said that your mouth is the most powerful weapon if you use the word of God. Receiving his wisdom and his knowledge will help you to be steadfast and to face different challenges that come against you. You got to stop waiting on the opinions of others. You got to stop waiting on the approval of others. And if you're building this relationship with God and you're listening to your provision that God is giving you, then there's no way that you can be dismantled. There's no way that you can be distraught listening to God. But you must be consistent when you're listening to his instructions. Some of the things that God may tell you to do may not make a lot of sense. And you may share these things with friends or family or co-workers, and they may think that you are crazy and out of your mind. But I believe that if someone tells you that or they think that about you, that means that you're on to something great. Because guess what? Most often, God's ways is always misunderstood. And if it is the voice of God that is telling you to move forward, then you got to listen to that voice over everyone else. No one knows what you were created for. No one knows what you were destined for. No one may not understand your vision, but if God has given you something, he's giving he's making you a concealed weapon to move forward. He's making you a provision for your vision. And if you just step out on small beginnings and you embrace that, you just got to trust that God's going to make a way and he's going to make provision. So my advice to you today is stop complaining, stop having self-pity, stop waiting for the approval of others, and move forward and listen to the voice of God. We all know that God created us so that we'll make lasting fruit. And what I mean by that is he doesn't want us to perish. So he tells us that I'll break off every branch that doesn't bear good fruit. So in other words, you're probably asking, well, how do I produce good fruit? How can I get established, Tamika? Well, you've got to, whenever you adhere to the knowledge of Christ and the wisdom of Christ, first of all, you've got to receive it. But you got to stand on it, even when you're in a situation and it looks like everything is against you. You got to trust that God is doing something miraculous in your life over what you see, over what you experience, even if it's pain, even if it's rejection, even if you're misunderstood, even if people can't see the good on the inside of you. You got to keep pressing forward. You got to keep praying. And even if you have to cry sometimes, it's not a sin to cry. You have